What the fuck is up, my britches? If you are new here, hello, my name is Brittany, and today we are focusing on the new Natasha Denona, the Triochrome palette. I feel like this is so fucking hyped up right now. Sorry I'm late, guys. I had a contractor show up, so if you hear stuff in the background, it's real life. My dogs will probably start barking. It's all good. But today, I'm really excited because this was, to me, the best holiday launch so far. I thought Pat McGrath was it, but we'll see if this one will pass the test today, because look at that packaging. Look at that fucking packaging. Oh my god, I'm so excited. But first things first. Is it too early for wine? I don't think so, but I see other bitches in the live chat. What's good? What's poppin', everybody? I did do a video yesterday on the Juvia's Place Wahala palette. So if you're in the Brit Clark mood and you want to see how I got this look right here, I'm just saying. There goes Remo. Go check out that video from yesterday. I did receive another one of these today from my Ulta order, so I will be having one of these in my giveaway come December during BRITCHES. I'm so excited! I can't believe it's already almost December. Isn't it crazy? I just saw a comment. I had to pull this up really quick because I'm like, oh my god. Because this palette, this is $129. It's so expensive. Danny said, I told the manager at Sephora about the 25% off Natasha Denona website, and they price match in store, and then they accidentally gave me this 20% off on top. That's everything. It's good to know. So if you have been eyeing this palette, because I did purchase this from Natasha Denona's website because I figured I would get it quicker, but Natasha Denona's website, you could do the code ND times Boxy, but you have to create a new account and you can get 25% off. But if Sephora is price matching, I would probably buy it at Sephora. I believe this is in store now. This packaging is fucking fire. I can't get over it. I do want to mention how my products usually come from Natasha's website because I really like ordering from her, and I got free 2 to 3 day shipping because I did order a couple more things. I picked up the Foundation X foundation. I picked up another I Need a Nude lipstick and also another palette for a giveaway. I'll probably feature these because I think I'm going to do a haul tomorrow. But the palette itself comes in these cardboard boxes, but then it's got more cardboard packaging. Like, you feel like your palette comes so secured, and I even feel like it comes that way when you buy it at Sephora too. So the likeliness of you getting a broken palette is a lot more slim, but in case you haven't seen it yet, hallelujah, this is so pretty. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm not loving the price point on it, but then again, I am not really mad about it because this is going to be the size of like the Tropic palette, the Biba palette, as far as the pan size goes. It's not the same size as like the Bronze, the Sunrise, the Love. It's the bigger pans, which I kind of wish that she did the smaller one with a smaller price point, but then again, for a holiday launch, I'm not mad about it whatsoever. I am going to do swatches. I'll do some comparisons today as well, because I have not touched this palette. I'm so excited, guys. I'm so excited. So if you guys have been eyeing this, maybe this will be a good video for you. We shall see. Hopefully it's not a train wreck, but I mean, this is my channel, so would you guys be surprised? So let me first ask you guys, who has purchased this palette so far? Because I feel like so many people have already bought this palette. I do have it linked down below. I have it linked at Sephora, Beautylish, and also Natasha Denona website. I would probably purchase it from either Natasha Denona or Sephora. But I would be checking in store at Sephora to see if they'll do the price match. Because why the hell wouldn't you get it there if you were interested in it? I think this might be one of the best holiday launches if this is good quality. So that's what we're going to find out today, is how I feel about it. I'm going to swatch first, and then we'll get into like me trying it on my eyes and stuff like that. And you guys can let me know like the types of shades that you want me to use. I do want to pull up first the Sephora website just to give you guys like what the palette, I guess, what they say about the palette. So it says it's a palette with 3 different pressed pigment multichrome shades in the center of each row and their complementary tones to complete a makeup look. So how, I guess, Natasha designed to structure this is the center shades are all the multichromes, and then you're supposed to work like in the row to get like a completed look. I don't feel like you really need to do that just by me looking at it, but then again, I also have not played with this yet either. I feel like I could still kind of jump around the palette and still utilize those three. I feel like I'll get a lot of use out of this just kind of looking at it. And another thing, I know some people were kind of pissed about the price point because it is so expensive and they're like, okay, it's only 3 multichromes. I'm personally not mad because I love Natasha Denona matte formula. So like I said, I wish that they were smaller pans for the smaller price point, but then again, you don't gotta buy it either. There's so many brands that do multi-chrome shadows that also have amazing mattes. I'm a big fan of Natasha Denona, so that's why I wanted to pick this up. But do I think any palette is worth that much? No. It's one of those things. I like luxury shit. So this is another episode of real reviews for luxury shit. I personally buy these things, but if I was just your average consumer, I would never pay full price for palettes. Ever. That goes for any makeup. I would never buy stuff at full price. If a 25 or 20% off comes up, then yeah, I'm going to consider it. But it's eyeshadows. You know, it's one of those things, if you're interested in it, if you're into it, you're into it. Buy it. If you're not, carry on and live your best life. Let's see. I'm seeing what you guys are saying in the chat. Hello to all my britches. Let's see. Nick, the code for Natasha Denona's site is supposed to work until, sometime in December. Oh, that's good. The color curation on this palette, though, I agree. I really like the color story of it. Her palettes with 0 multichromes are still at that price point. So, see, Terry, I agree. I totally agree. I think people were even more mad because they expected the pan sizes to be smaller. That would make sense. But since the pan sizes are so large, I'm personally not mad about it. So let's dive into the swatches, shall we? So I'm going to do it, I think, by row. That way you guys could see all the shades in each row all together. And then we'll get into the look itself. So I'll start with the first row, which is, I feel like what I've seen most people, like, because I don't think I've watched any videos all the way through. I was mainly curious to see if this first row was going to be greens or yellows, because some of the pictures were, you know, they were kind of hard to tell exactly what shades they were. So that was the shade Scrap, and then we have Androdite or Androdite. That one there, that's almost like a pastel, like minty type green. Then we have Scarab. Oh my god. Please believe I'm going to have, oh my god. Oh my god, I love multichrome so much. I'm such a sucker. Give me all the multichromes. Scarab is the one shade, because there were the liquid multichromes. Don't forget there was liquid multichrome. So I love the fact that she did Scarab. This shade right here was like the most perfect mustardy green. Oh my god, that's so pretty. So that's the first row. I'm going to try to fit all the rows on my whole hand, but just so you guys have a visual of what this looks like. Here, let me zoom you guys in a little bit so you can see it just a little closer. Oh, why did it click off? There we go. This is what I want. Boom. Boom. Fucking multichromes, man. They get me. They get me. So this one has, I would say, like a blue, gold to green. That's so pretty. I can't wait to put that on my eyeballs. Oh, I'm so excited. Ashley's calling you guys out. I'm just saying. What did Karen say? Guys, we were... Exactly. Karen, I think the confusion was, though, that people thought the pan sizes were smaller. Like the size of the Sunrise, the Bronze. I think that's where a lot of the confusion came from. But now we know it's like the size of the Biba. So that was Naga, Manganese, Kinetic. This is another multichrome. I probably should have pulled out. I wonder if it's right here in my collection, because I have one of the liquid multichromes. I'm not overly impressed with it, but oh, that looks so pretty. Guys, I love multichromes. They just get me so excited. And then we have Redix. These are, like, when I pick up the shades on my finger, they are picking up a little bit, like, chunkier. And then I almost, like, smooth over them. I think I'm going to get some fallout with this palette as well. This row is so in my wheelhouse, though. Oh, let's see what the shifts are. That one looks like almost like a blue to a pink to a purple. That looks really, really pretty. I think that one's going to be a lot more subtle than the Scarab shades. Scarab strikes me as something that's going to be a real intense shift to it. After I get all the swatches done, I'll do just the multi-chromes and do them the opposite way on my hand, just to see if we can see them a little bit more. And then in the last row, we have Vertex, Plutonium. Yeah, do you see how they pick up a little bit funky? I don't judge mattes too harshly based on swatches. That's just how I roll because I've been played so hard by so many mattes, i.e. the Colored Rain Juicy Boost. Sometimes they swatch so nice, and then other times they swatch like trash. So that was the shade Color Flip, which that one resembles so many multichromes in my collection. I shouldn't say so many. I think I have 3 now that resemble that one. That's the shade Garmin. These are swatching really nice, though, for mattes, because usually I don't get super excited swatching mattes, but it's like they're pigmented. I'm into it. What do you guys think of these swatches? I think they swatch really nice. You can see that wicked color flip here. That's going to have a green. That's going to be really similar to the shade that we saw yesterday in the Juvia's palette. It's almost like a green to a gold to almost like a maroon or burgundy. My favorite, though, is Scarab. I really like that one. I think that one, I only have 1 in my collection that resembles that, but we'll see. We'll see as I place each one next to it. I'll do the just the multi-chromes next, and then I'll do comparisons after that, and then we'll get into the demo aspect of it. Oh my god, I'm so hot right now. Whew, it's warm. It's warm in this room today. Where's my... I need my makeup wipes. So... You guys are into these swatches. I think the color story is so pretty, and I think it's just something different for Natasha. I didn't buy this palette just for the multi-chromes. I bought it because of Natasha's formula, whereas yesterday I purchased the Juvia's Place palette because it's a significantly less of a price point, but I bought that solely because of the multi-chrome, because it was so nice. Okay, so let me dive into just the multi-chromes, and then I'm going to put them this way because I feel like you could see the color flip a lot better this way. So that was Scarab. Then we have Kinetic. These, oh my god, they're so pretty. These last 2, though, I feel like I'm gonna get something similar to the Juvia's Place. So here's, just so you can see like the color flip. Let me pull you guys in a little bit, just so you can see a little bit better. So we've got, oh my god, swatch porn! I do think that these have more of a dark base, like you could really see the bases when you flip them this way. But do you see why I love multi-chrome so much? They're just so much fun. Oh my gosh. Now, just to get into some tea, are these like the most beautiful multi-chromes that I've ever seen? They're pretty, but I would say just based off of how other ones that I own look, I do think that other ones are prettier than these are. Just me being honest, but let me swatch them next to each other. That way I can really verify that for myself. So I'm going to start with the shade Scarab, and then I'm going to pull out my Cleona and also my Sydney Grace again, and then I'm even going to pull out the Juvia's Place Walhalla palette just so we can kind of see if anything resembles them, which I honestly do think that some of them will. So I'm going to start, this is going to be the Scarab and Cleona. I'm going to pull out, I'm going to go in with Chameleonaire from Sydney Grace first. I don't think this is going to be identical. It's going to be a little bit deeper, but just so we have multiple comparisons. But you see how much more shiny and reflective the Sydney Grace is? That's what I'm saying. Like, I think Natasha, it still has that flip to it, but it's not as, like, in-your-face, crazy intense as other ones that I own. I think I'm going to notice the same thing with the Cleona as well. I'm going to compare it to, I think it's Anil, right? Patina. Wow, I was really close. Patina is this one right here. That's the one that I'm going to compare Scarab to, because I think that this is pretty comparable to Scarab, But I will say that I think that Cleona's is just a little bit prettier, but they're not identical. You see how much more intense patina is in comparison to Natasha? I think Natasha's better for like more of somebody that like wants to spice up their look a little bit more and doesn't want it to be so dramatically intense and not nearly as like shiny and sparkly. If you want more of the sparkle, I would say go for like Sydney Grace or like Cleona, which are these two over here. But this one, this will be the Natasha Denona. It's still pretty. It's just, it's one of those things. It's like, it's not identical to either one of these that I have. So I'm happy about that just because I don't want to have like a bunch of the same shades in my collection. And that's where shopping for multi-chromes does get a little bit tricky, especially online, because it's like in your mind, like when I looked at Scarab, I'm like, oh, that looks just like patina. But the reality is it's not the same at all. It's similar, but it's not identical by any means. Cleona is so nice. I can't wait for them to reopen. Am I the only one that finds Cleona fades really fast? I don't notice that at all. I don't have that problem with Cleona. Okay, so there's the swatch comparisons for Scarab. Now let's move on to, get that off there. We'll move on to Kinetic. I just want to make sure my hands like dried off before I get into other ones. Let me see. When I swatch next to each other, Natasha looks dull. I don't think it looks dull. I think it looks more it's more subtle. It's more for like a basic bitch that wants to spice up her makeup a little bit more. At least that's what I think. I don't have anything. I mean, I only have 3 of the Sydney Gray, so I don't think anything resembles that shade, Kinetic, with Sydney Grays. Do I have? Oh, I should have swatched. Hang on. Let me jump back to Scarab really quick because I wanted to swatch Scarab next to that money shade that was in the Juvia's Place palette. Or no. What am I doing? No. Right? Hold on. I'm like fucking myself up right there. No, that's not the same at all. I thought money might have been more similar actually to Kinetic, but no, those are totally different. False alarm. Wow, I don't know what I was just thinking right there. Let's go back to Kinetic. So nothing from Sydney Gray so far. I hope Sydney Gray starts to do more. Let's see. It's more muted, which is great for work. Yeah, that's where I feel like it's more toned down, which isn't a bad thing. So this is where it gets hard with multi-chromes because it's like I'll look in the pan and I'm like, oh, nothing looks like this shade here because the flips are so different. I'm going to reach in for this shade right here. I think this one's a Neil. And I'm going to try this one next to Kinetic, but I don't think that these are going to be similar either. This one has more of a vibrant purple, but the shift in Anil is so intense that like when I look at this on my hand, I'm going to try to get the purples both showing, but I don't know if it's actually going to work. Because when I look at this on my hand, you can kind of see it there. This looks purple when I apply this to my hand, but when you guys see it, you see that. So that's where you see that flip. I'm surprised at how different, like that money shade, I thought would be, because I compared Anil to money last night, and I'm like, I expected those to be so much more similar, but they're totally different. Wow, I'm like surprised, because I think when you look at these, Anil and Money from Juvia's Place, these look so similar when I look at them in person, except this has more of like a foresty green. But as far as the Natasha Denona, I personally don't have anything like this in my collection, except let me try this Vibrant Multichrome really quick. This is the shade Royalty. Let's try this one. This is my favorite shade that I have from Cleona. It's so nice. So this will be more of like a pastel. Oh, that shade's so nice. I love it. The Vibrant Multichromes from Cleona are so nice. But you see how much more just toned down and subtle? It's so pretty. Oh my god, I can't get over how freaking hot I am right now. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's move on to Color Flip. Oh, I think my contractor's leaving. Let's see. I told him, I'm like, don't mind me. I'm just going to be talking to a camera. Don't judge me. Okay, let's move on to Color Flip, which this is the one I feel like I have quite a bit of overlap. So Color Flip, we'll put over here. And then we'll put Juvia's Place Fake. Guys, I still can't get over this shade in the Juvia's Place palette. If you guys didn't see yesterday's video, make sure you check it out. So we've got Natasha Denona, Juvia's Place. Yeah, like when I put these all side by side, I'm like, yeah, the Natasha Denona is so much more subtle than any of these other ones. This one will be Sydney Grace. So it's like the flips are all pretty similar. I think Sydney Grace is a little bit more harsh. And then Cleona's is even more in your face. And then that one's going to be the shade Forge. And this one's a lot more sparkly as well. So it's almost like if you really liked one of these, but you wanted like, okay, the most intense is Cleona. Then you move down to Sydney Grace. Then you move down to Juvia's Place. And then you move down to Natasha. They're so different though. Let me pull you guys in close just so you have a close-up of what I'm talking about. It's just more of like an intense glitter / reflect difference. So it's like similar vibes for all of them. The flip is almost identical. It's just one is more intense and harsh than the other one. This wouldn't be like a deal breaker shade for me. If anything, I think the most unique shade in this palette is the shade Kinetic, but I'm sure I'm sure Cleona has a shade like that in their line. It's just I don't personally have it because I don't have the whole collection from them. So I think this is definitely more basic, more wearable, more everyday appropriate. So it's like a basic bitch. If a basic bitch wants something that's a little bit more, you know, a little bit more fun, but still like pastel neutral, wearable, this might fit into what somebody like that would be looking for. Or somebody like me that's just like, hey, I just like good formulas and I'm into trying whatever. That's what really appealed to me about this palette. So getting into actually trying these eyeshadows, which shades, I feel like I want to use Kinetic, but you guys let me know if there's any shades in particular that you would like to see me use that you haven't seen used in videos already, because there are already so many videos on this palette. I'm going to bring out my Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas Eye Base. Oh, I'm like looking for my fair shade and it's right next to me. I'm going to put this down first while you guys let me know. Possibly better for more mature skin, the more subtle formula. I'm going to be testing that today because I do feel like when shadows look better on my lids, because I do have more textured lids, that usually tells me it'll be better for mature skin, but we're going to try that today. I would imagine that would be accurate, but I also don't want to judge before I actually try it. You know what I mean? Okay, let me try not to drive you guys crazy in the microphone. Let's see. Sea Scarab to me is the best. Sea Scarab's the one that I'm like, I don't want to use just because I've seen a lot of people using Scarab already. Actually, let me pull out, because it's right here. I have the liquid eyeshadow, the Chromium, in the shade Ultraviolet. These to me, I'm just like, I don't think these are worth the price because when I did apply this, like, I think they're really pretty, but I have to use so much of this. I feel like Scarab is the only shade that's really worthwhile. I'll put this next to, because I think if you have that shade, it's kind of similar to Color Flip. I would think Ultraviolet would be like the same. Yeah, that flip is like identical. So it's almost like if you liked this one, but I wasn't really impressed with this because I'm like, I feel like I had to use so much product to get those to really stand out on my lids. And when I'm paying that much, I'm like, I want to see it. I just think that that wasn't a product for me though. I think it still worked. Let's see. Jennifer. Oh, let's see. I think playing with the... See, that's what I'm always gravitated towards just because I love purple shadows. Scarab comes in liquid chromium, so try the... Yeah, that's where I'm like, let's try that one. Let me grab my Esum W23. If I seem a little bit more low energy today, it's because I have the worst headache right now. I'm like, maybe wine will help. Maybe. I really need to go to the dentist because I have this one tooth. I'm like, I really need to get it taken care of because I think that's why I get so many headaches. Man, I slept so damn hard last night though. I woke up drooling my face off this morning. I had like drool dripping all over my face. I'm like, what is happening? I was like, damn, I was out cold. Let's see. The greens look amazing. I love the matte greens in this palette. I'm like, okay, the chromium, or like the liquid, wow. Not the chromiums and not the liquid. The multi-chromes look great in this palette, but it's the color story is what I'm just like, oh, fuck me up. I love when Natasha gets outside of her typical neutral color stories because I love her formulas. So that's where I'm like, okay, it's like an added bonus that we're getting multi-chromes, but I don't know, I guess I really didn't have that high of expectations considering that I've tried a few different indie brands that I think nail it. If she would have done like even an all matte palette with this formula or with this color story with all mattes, I would have been into it. The new sleep crown. I know. Shannon fell asleep. I'm like, well, I guess I get the new one. Yeah. I'm into it. Yeah, I was assed out. Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you, Esteemed Cyber Goth Punk. Let's see. This helps me to resist the palette. Yeah, I think that's more or less like why I like doing these videos. I buy these palettes, one, because I earn money through YouTube, so it's like, it gives you guys an idea, but it's one of those things, it's like, do you need these palettes? No. Like, if you aren't a freaking YouTube creator, like, I think I would still have a bigger collection, but I would not buy makeup nearly as frequent as I do. Like, I do it solely for the sake of doing videos on it. That way, if people are interested. But, like, with this one, I'm like, I feel like this one is so hyped up that I'm like, okay, but is this the best palette for holiday? And another thing is for gifting purposes. Like, if you were eyeing this palette to give it to, like, a makeup lover or something. So this is the shade Naga. At least I think that's how you pronounce it. Naga. I'm using my Chiku Hodo. This is the GSN number 10. See, like I said, this is why I love Natasha formula. I do notice that these are kind of powdery. Like, it still blends really nice, but just so you're aware, I'm sure you could see it like kind of fly up when I just applied it. And I'm noticing when you stick your brush in there, I am getting a lot of kick up, which I don't usually notice that much with Natasha shadows, but maybe I'll have to dig into some of my other ones. But, I mean, it applies and blends beautifully. Let's go in next with... What brush do I want to use? I probably should have cleaned off my brushes. That probably would have been a good idea. Considering some of these have, like, blue on there. Only get them if you think it'll add something to your life. Yeah. But do we love the palettes? Yes. I've been on, like, such a palette kick lately. Karen drooling Brit is a vibe. All right, let me take the shade Tungsten. This is almost like a mauvey tone pink over here. So this was the first shade that I used. Now I'm jumping over to this one. And then I'll probably put manganese in my outer corner because I always do like the same type of looks. I think I'm going to do, depending on how fast I get through these, I might do 3 looks. Like 1 look on each eye and then finish off the look. Oh, that shade's pretty. Finish off a 3rd look. I just got distracted. See, I love shades like this. I love them. Hi, Karen. I love when you guys seem so excited when you guys come in the chats. It gets me so excited. Makes me so happy. That shade's pretty. I'm into it. It looks darker on my eyes, too, than what it does in the pan. It's almost giving me like a mauvey plum on my eyeballs. So let me take, I'm using my Sonia G. This is the Worker Pro. I like this brush. It's like a workhorse. Worker Pro. Get it? Yes! I love this type of color story. Give me all the purpley mauves. Especially with my green eyes. Yes, bitch. Absolutely. But do you see how easy, like, this is why I love Natasha formula, because it's just so easy and effortless how fast I was just able to do that. Minimal blending. It's just like it does it for you. Now I need my, I gotta wipe it on my pants, my Esom W21, and I'm gonna use the shade Kinetic. And then we're just gonna put this all over. I wanna see what this looks like. And I wanna see if we could see the flip on my eyeball. I mean, it applies really nice with a brush. Ooh. Yeah, very, very subtle. Very subtle and wearable. Not in your face whatsoever. Oh, that's pretty. Mmm. Heather, thank you. I love purples on my eyes. Purples, greens, yup. But you see how fast I was able to do that? That's that Natasha formula. And then if we're getting real crazy, we could put color flip on there too. Let's throw that right here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it a ton, but no, not really. We'll have to do that one by itself. But I'm into it. That would be a look. I would rock the shit out of that. I'm into it. So I used every shade except for this one right here in the purple row. So let me wipe. No, I'm going to keep that on for now. There's half of look number one. I usually don't do my under eyes when I do looks like this. I just kind of go into my other eye and then I'll finish off a completed look on the third look. But I usually just focus on the lids and then I finish the look off camera. So let me go into, I'm going to work in this bottom, or you know what? Let's go into the green row and then the final look will be with this bottom row. Let's do that. So going into the green row, I'm going to take Aphrodite, I think is how you say it. Still getting quite a bit of kick up going into the matte shades. I think this will be a shade. It's like, are you really going to see it? Probably not. You do have a mirror in this palette as well. Good quality mirror. Packaging is basically the same as like what you get with all the other Natasha Denona $129 palettes. I'm not mad about it. A shade like this, I think you would notice a bit more on lighter skin tones, but then again, I do have a fair, I mean, you could see it. I have a fair base on right now. It just kind of serves as a lightening shade, at least for me. I want to take the shade Ion. I'm going to use that same brush and probably just go right over where I just was. Like the greens. I'm so into greens. I was so excited to see greens in her newest palette. Good God. I was just so hyped to not see another neutral, bigger palette. I was hoping, honestly, to see another palette structured like Metropolis because that's still one of the favorite holiday launches of all time for me. And I love the fact that you get smaller shades, but you get such a variety of shades. But put the fifth under your brow bone. No, that's a nah for me, dog. They're not shades that I would ever put on my brow bone. If anything, I think those lighter shades, it's more of to just kind of ease up the blend if you need it, but I don't really feel like I need it. And with the shade Redix, I think that would just give a more cooler toned effect to the look. Even more cooler than it already is. I think it's a good option to have in there. I just don't see a purpose for it for the look that I did. Let's see. Hi, Rupi. Let's see. Oh, Tara Lee is here. What's up, girl? Oh, Jamie's back. Okay, so that was the shade Ion. Now I want to take the shade Vert. This is like that mustard. It's like a mustardy green. This shade I feel like is pretty unique. I'm going to throw this one right here. I'm into that. It's almost like a poopy type of green. I'm just applying this like super messily. And then I'm going to take the shade Scrap and put that out here. See, I love brushes like this. It's like I can do everything with it. I'm actually much more impressed with the purples opposed to the greens, but this gives like a really unique grungy. It's almost like a Melt Cosmetics wannabe. That's what I feel like these greens, because it's like they're somewhat grungy, but they don't really have the punch. If anything, it's like a more, I don't know, I feel like this is a very like wearable type of palette. Wearable. Like I say that very loosely because I think anything could be wearable, but you know what I mean. Like most people don't want like something super intense like what you get with Melt Cosmetics. I shouldn't say most people. Some people don't want that. So let me take the shade Scarab. But it's like if that color story appeals to you, but if you're like, whoa, that's way too much, this might be something better or worth like looking into. Just not as punchy. Just more subtle, toned down. How many times are we going to say that throughout this video? Just wondering. Get it together, Brittany. Quit repeating yourself. Yeah, I'm much more impressed with the purples than the greens. But I'm not mad about it either. Let's go in. I'm going to take that Worker Pro again. I want more punch from that Vert shade. There we go. That worked a lot better. Boom. Yeah, I get... Does anybody else get melt vibes? I'm getting melt vibes. Just with, like, the grunginess of it. But that's why I was so into it. I'm like, oh, go off, Natasha. Do something different. I'm in it. I'm into it. Let me take my finger. Now, just off of me doing these 2 little looks with this palette, would I say, like, oh my god, go run out and buy it immediately? I would say if it appeals to you, would I go run out and buy it immediately? For what I typically look for with multi-chromes? No. I would say I would run, don't walk for Cleona and Sydney Grace. For this price point, because like the Sydney Grace, I think they're usually, what, $10 a piece for the singles? And then Cleona are, I think, $17.50, or maybe Sydney Grace was a little bit more. Correct me, guys, if you know. But I don't know. I think for some people, though, they would be all about this life. You know, that's where it's one of those things you have to pay attention to everything that I say about it, because I think everything does look pretty good. The blend right there is not looking thebomb.com. But as I would work on it, I think it would get better. They're definitely, like, the shifts are definitely there. It looks smooth on the lids. I do think it would be very flattering for textured lids too. Whereas like Cleona or Sydney Grace, they might emphasize the texture a little bit more. So that could be something that is appealing to you as well. So, I mean, I'm good with that. I just saw somebody, I think it was Jennifer, she asked for a halo type of eye. I could do that with the next look, because this is the type of look that I always do, because I think it's the most flattering on me. That's just my preference. But we could do a halo eye. Have you ever tried Suku or Suko shadows? I have not. For $129, I wanted to knock my socks off. See, that's where I think for some people this probably would. Honestly. It's just... I personally like shadows that are like bam in your face. Some people don't like that. For some people, they would love this. So that's just like any makeup. I always say this in my videos. I'm like any makeup, you're going to find things that just appeal to you. For me, the color story is what appealed to me with this one. And knowing Natasha's formulas are fire. It wasn't the multi-chromes. It was the color story, and that it was predominantly mattes, because I love her mattes. So for me, I'm still happy with this palette, because I'm like, these still perform. Like, these perform like Natasha shadows for me. I'm going to go back in with my eye base, and we'll do a completed look on this one, and just to see. But I feel like I was able to get a quicker look with the purples, especially, like, purples are, I'm always super judgy about, because I feel like purples are so hard to perfect. Like, when you find a good purple formula, you have, like, a celebratory moment over that, because man, oh man, have I tried some really shitty purple shades. Her formula is the best for textured lids. I think it's great. I don't know if it's the best, but I do think it's a great formula for textured lids. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, some of my favorite some of my favorite brands for textured lids are makeup artist brands. I think that's one thing that they do, like Scott Barnes, Wayne Goss, Natasha Denona. I haven't tried Charlotte Tilbury yet, but I did order the Fire Rose Quad. I guarantee I'll love that for textured lids. I think makeup artists are mindful of that. Because even like that Scott Barnes Glamazon palette, I'm like, the color story is super pretty. It's just going to appeal for different people. So like, here's what I'll say, okay? If you're shopping for like a 20-year-old, this would not be a palette that I would get. If you're shopping for somebody in their 30s, like somebody that just is a little bit more mature, maybe not as loud and in your face. This would be, just based off of the 2 little looks that I've done so far, this would be a palette that I would consider. So it's a bunch of different factors that should always go into deciding factors when you're purchasing products, because those things to me are important. Oh, thank you for being here, Carly. Oh, your baby Yoda got there? Mine shipped out today. I was just thinking that. I'm like, did my ColourPop order ship out yet? Like, what's happening? But then I got the notification today. Okay, so the last look, we're going to stick with this bottom row. So I'm going to do Vertex first. It's just almost like a matte beige, but it's got like a slight gray tinge to it. I'm using the Chikuhodo Z11, one of my favorite crease brushes of all time. I'm so glad I got the Wayne Gauze palette. Super easy to wear. That Wayne Gauze palette is fucking fire. And I think that's why I'm always so favorable of makeup artist palettes. Just because of the issues that I have with texture and stuff like that. Because even like the Wayne Gauze palette, I'm like, it's still such a pretty palette. I've used it once again since that video I did. It's such a nice palette, but when you look at it, you're like, okay, it's not anything like out of this world. It's not super interesting, but a basic everyday bitch that loves neutrals would love that palette. It's just a little bit pricey. But that's where it's like, okay, that palette's really great. Get it on a sale or something like that. First time here, I'm at work, then I was watching a video and just now realized you're live. This is awesome! See, that's what I love about my videos, is some people complain that I do lives all the time, but I'm like, most people can't even fucking tell that they're live. Because I was very conscious about focusing on the quality of my videos. So, if you like live stream content, this is a place to be. Because I love lives. My lids are super wrinkled. I'm in my mid-30s. And I'm assuming Natasha Denona, same. That's where it's like, it's all in what it piques your interest and best fits what you look for. So I'm going to next take, I think I'm going to take Plutonium. Let's see what we do for a halo eye. I'm just going to press this in these 2 spots. I'm going to use my Angelica Nyqvist. I've been watching her videos because I'm a part of her membership, and she helps me learn new techniques for just how I apply shadows, because I was never into colored shadows, really. Boom. It's going to look super messy. I do think I'm going to need to go in a different row, though, because there's not a ton of depth within this row here. Like this shade here is the darkest shade, and I think I'm going to want something a little bit deeper, but I think I'll go into that top row there. Oh my god. This headache and this heat right now is not it for me, sis. Oh, okay, I'm going to go in with Garmin. That's the deepest shade within this row. If this look comes out looking like shit, it's because I never do looks like I never do halo eyes. So don't judge me too hard, guys, okay? That shade's really pretty, though. I like that shade a lot. Garmin. Because it's got like a beige-ish tinge to it, but then it's also got like a little bit of almost like a slight like brick tone to it. Okay, I'm just going to throw this on the total outer corner because I'm trying to work in small areas and I just don't work like that. But that's why I love this brush. Those look really pretty together. I like those 2 shades right there. Okay, I want to jump up to Scrap because I want a little bit more on the outer corner. I just like having a really deep outer corner. But this is where I'm like, I don't feel like you need to stay within those rows either. You could still go into the other rows. Let's see. Jade, I was just reading her recommendations. That's where I'm like, I think it's coming from my tooth. I just need to go to the fucking dentist already. I just keep putting it off and putting it off, and then I schedule it when I'm on overnights like an idiot. I'm like, I need to stop doing that because I don't wake up. I don't care how bad it hurts, I just don't wake up. Like, nope, I'm just gonna go to sleep. Because then, too, my body reacts so differently. Like, when I am on overnights and I try to sleep, and then even if I get, like, tattooed and stuff, it's just no. I hate how this looks right now. I'm just going over the whole thing. I don't like the halo eye on me. I just don't. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry, but let's see if we can make this look better with that multichrome. I'm using the shade Color Flip. No, I did not like that at all. That's my least favorite row, to be quite honest. I'm going to try to fix it a little bit, though, because I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that row right there. That would not, no. No, no, no. We're doing it how I normally would. Sorry, guys. Sometimes this is what happens, though. I'm just like, nope, hate it. Take it off. This is why I also do my eyes first. I hated how that looked. Sorry. And if I don't like it, I'm not going to carry on. I'm going to do it the way that I typically would, but I'm overall not really loving that row. I wish there was a little bit more depth within it. That's just a me personal thing, like what I look for. Hair back. Boom. I agree that, yeah, I'm just like, you know what I want to do? I want to just pull colors that I like. I don't want to stick in the row. I just want to pull colors that I like. I always grind my teeth at night. It's so bad. Yeah, they told me that. I'm a teeth grinder, and I think that's why I have a headache today, is because I was probably grinding my teeth last night, because even, like, my teeth hurt. But it's all good. We'll get through it. All right, let's do the damn thing. Let's do it. Boom. See, this is also, guys, why I like live streams, because it's the reality. I think a big factor for me is seeing, like, how shades actually work, because it's so easy to make everything look incredible when you film a video. It really is. You could manipulate, even words that you say, you could so easily manipulate it with filmed content. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just a preference type thing. I personally like to see how things work, especially when it comes to spending so much money on eyeshadows. Yeah, Marlene, I'm gonna. I haven't yet. I should have by now, like 20 times over. I just haven't. Oh, Jennifer, you'll have to let us know what you think of it. Let us know. Okay. Gerard Cosmetics, Clean Canvas Eye Based, round 4. 3. Yep. Okay. We're set. Let's go in. I'm just going to pick up shades that I want to use and hope that it works. I know for a fact I would live within this row so much. So, let me take... I'm going to take Garmin because this shade really appeals to me. I don't know what it is about this shade that I like so much, but I'm into it. I'm using my Chikuhodo GSN number 10. What do you guys think of this palette? Like, has anybody else gotten this palette and tried it yet? If you have, what do you think about it? How would I compare this to Celestial Divinity? Oh my god, they're so different. So entirely different palettes. Celestial Divinity is primarily metallics, whereas this one is primarily mattes. So, if anything, in my personal opinion, I think this and Celestial Divinity would go, like, hand in hand so well, because there's only 3 mattes in that, but who wants to spend $200+ on 2 palettes? So, it's one of those things, like, this shade with one of those celestial divinities like all over the lid, I think would be so fucking pretty. But how many people are going to want to spend that? Which, for holidays, people might. Let's see. Let's try to get this one on pretty quick. You see how easy these are to work with, though? It's minimal effort. They blend so easily. I'm not mad about it. I just don't think this palette's going to be for everybody by any means. I think some people will think it's incredible, and then other people, like everything else, are going to think it's overpriced, all those things, which it is spency. I'm not going to lie. I'm not thrilled with the price point. I was so glad to be able to get, when I was able to get the discounted price, I was thrilled about that. Okay, let's take Plutonium. Because I really like this shade too. It looks really nice. It's just, it didn't really give it to me when I just used it last. So we are going to stay within that row for the moment. For the moment. This doesn't really have much punch to it either. I feel like you really have to layer this one up. But those two shades look really nice together. Definitely on the neutral spectrum. This palette's definitely more of like neutral pastels with like pops of green. Well, I shouldn't say pastels because like those, that crease shade isn't pastel. It's more pastel than not, but I don't know. It's just going to all come down to, does it speak to you? Is this something that you think you would be interested in? That's it. If you think it's worth $129, I don't know if I would run out and buy it again for $129. Just a me personal thing. Just, like, these mattes are nice. They're not like the cream to powder formula, though. That, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not super thrilled. I'll just put it that way. Color flip. Let's put this all over. Yeah, like it's cute. It's cute. It's not knocking my socks off. It's not knocking my socks off. I think the best row in this palette is the purples, which I don't know if that's because I'm favorable to purples because of how much I enjoy purple eyeshadows. But, like, the mattes, they blend really nicely. They blend nice. They're subtle multi-chrome, so I think that will be appealing to some people. Let's see. See, that's why I was, like, meh on this color story. That's me, though. Yeah, I really like the color story. I think it's really pretty, but I don't know. Like, I'm glad I have it. But I think some people are going to look at this and be like, there's no fucking way I'm paying that much money for it. For a me personal, I wish that those multi-chromes were more intense just because they're so subtle. Like, it's very, very subtle. And for me, I like a really intense multi-chrome. So that's where I'm like, I'm underwhelmed with the multi-chromes in this palette. I don't know. It's cute. I'm glad I have it, but would I run out and buy it again? Probably not. I don't think I would. I would choose Metropolis. Me too. I think Metropolis has such a nice formula. Like, this has nice formulas too, but I don't know how much of a use I'm going to get out of this palette, to be quite honest, because if I was like, oh, I want to wear a multi-chrome today, I wouldn't reach for this palette. I would reach for my Cleona shadows. But ask yourself all those questions that I asked you earlier. Is this something that appeals to me? Do I think I would use this palette? I think this was definitely designed for more mature audience. But like I said, I think if you wanted something to pair with this palette, which some people might, I think, oh, I just stuck my finger right in that shade. I think these metallics with these mattes, tell me that these color stories don't go together so perfectly. I almost wish that the multichromes weren't in this and it was just all mattes and it was smaller. I wish that I would feel better about it. I would feel so much better if this was more of like the bronze or like the Love palette, the size wise. If this was like 60, 69 bucks or 67, however much those were, packaging is fire. I love the packaging on it. It's got nothing on the back. You can remove these. It's got this little, I mean, it's got a sticker, which I'm not thrilled about. I hate when they put stickers on shit, but it's 24-month shelf life, 15 shades. You get 35.4 grams or 1.24 ounces. I'm pretty sure this means recyclable. I say that in so many videos. Made in Italy, which I always like when palettes are made in Italy. Where'd the box go? Where is it? Because I want to see what's on the back of the box if I didn't lose it. Where the fuck did I put it? Oh, it's under my chair. Hold on. So, on the back of the box, you have all of the ingredients and stuff like that. There is differences within certain shadows, but this is always kind of weird for me because here, I'll pull you guys in closer just so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Oh, there we go. So she has like the shade names on here, but then she's got like 339 cm. So then it's like, okay, you got to go find 339 cm. You got to almost like match these to the numbers instead of it just saying the shades, which I don't necessarily love that. It's got how to use, made in Italy, all this stuff over here. So if you want the ingredients and stuff, I would recommend keep the box, right? Beauty and the Frizz. Guys, if you aren't subscribed to Kara, you need to get your shit together. But seriously, I think if you're like, oh my god, I love this color story, I love this, but I want mattes to go with it. I mean, it's an expensive sister palette to go with it, but tell me that those aren't perfection together. I think that these would go so nice, but that's a 78 plus 129. Even if you get 20% off, that's still expensive for two palettes. But I'm glad that I have it. It's just, am I shitting my pants over it? No. I was more impressed with, like, I like these two rows. This row, I'm just kind of like, meh. It's okay. It's decent. But for $129, I don't want it to be okay and decent. I want it to knock my fucking socks off. If I were to say, like, okay, if I want multi-chromes, which palette would I get? I would get the Juvia's Place Valhalla. Granted, the color story is so completely different, but you've got two multi-chromes in here. It's $30-something. Go check out my video from yesterday if you guys want to hear more about that. But if you're looking at multi-chromes, it's one of those things. Ask yourself what you're looking for. Do you want something more subtle, toned down? Natasha, more in your face, Sydney Grace, Cleona, those are the only ones that I have. I really want to try like Terra Moon, Davina, but I feel like they're going to be more like Sydney Grace and Cleona, whereas I don't know of really that have multi-chromes that are so subtle. Betsy, I agree. I thought I would love it more too. I was expecting to like shit my pants over this, and I'm like, yeah. Jennifer, I agree. You were way more excited about the Valhalla. I think I was way more excited, one, because the pigmentation is so crazy, and then the fact that there was multi-chromes that we didn't know about. But not everybody's going to love this either. Not everybody's going to want something that's so intense and in your face and vibrant. Some people are going to want something that's more toned down and wearable. That's where something like this, like even though I'm not in love with it, this may really appeal to a lot of people. So it's always listen to those things when you're watching reviews. I could say this is incredible and you'll get it and be like, what is she talking about? It's preference. It's all about preference when you're watching YouTube videos. So always keep that in mind. Would you choose Celestial Divinity over the Triochrome? Me personally, I would choose Celestial Divinity simply because this has the blinding, like super intense, like shifty, vibrant in your face. Like this has the shades that I look for. Whereas the Natasha, it's just for a different type. Like see how shiny and reflective those are? That's what I like. But if I like something that's more toned down, I would go for Natasha. So that's where you got to ask yourself what you like. You know, I hope I'm making sense. I heard JD Glow. Oh yeah, JD Glow. I think Give Me Glow has multichromes. There's so many indie brands that do multichromes. So since I already have used those and I love how reflective they are, that's where I'm like, I'm going to spend my money there. And I don't know, it's just, it's nice. It's not a bad palette. It's not like the colors are trash. You know what I mean? It's just, it's something different than what I look for. But I could still see myself reaching for it from time to time. But it's definitely not the palette for me for holiday. You know? I hope I make sense. Let's see. Same girl, same. Same. For real. Celestial Divinity Metallics are A1. For real. I agree. I picked up the Wahala on your rack, and then I saw Angelica's blue look. Can't wait to get it. I think that Wahala palette's so nice, but like I said, that's not going to appeal for everybody. I need to try Divina. I saw Kara's video, Beauty in the Fridge. She did a video on theirs, and they look so pretty. Do I think I'll keep it? I probably will. I don't... Does Natasha online do returns? I don't know if she does or not. I would say I'll keep it for now. I'll probably keep it because I think the mats are still really nice. I think this is what's going to happen is I'm going to use these two together. I think that's exactly what's going to happen because I think they pair so nicely. Sometimes I buy palettes that's my favorite YouTuber hates because they hate some aspects that I love, like satin shades. I love satins and a lot of people don't. Exactly. Like that's where I try to always be mindful of things that I say to you guys. I try not to be like, oh my God, you need this palette. It's okay. If you like this, you may like this, or this is what I like, but you may not like that. You know what I mean? Let's see. That's how I felt looking at it. I just wasn't sold after seeing videos. I'm happy you made the decision to pass. Let's see. Oh my God. Angie's looks are always fire. Have you tried the liquid chromes? I think they're brighter. I do think at least Scarab is definitely more bright. Betsy, I definitely returned makeup. You can return to Natasha. Oh wait, you can return to Natasha's website. I'm not sure what the fine print is though. I'll look into it, but I could see myself keeping this. Like, I think this is such a nice collector's piece too. And like I said, the mats are still good. It's just, is it worth $129? I don't think so. Not for me, it's not. For some people, I think it would be, but for me, it's not. I said what I said. So, that's going to be it for today's video. I was going to do my makeup, but I'm not really feeling that good. I want to just kind of lay down and maybe fall asleep. We'll see. But if you guys aren't already, make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Instagram. Guys, I'm trying to get that damn swipe up. I still need like 5,000 more followers, but still. Follow me on Instagram, but the main thing that you can do to help my channel is share out this video, share out my channel. Share it with your friends, because if you like me, maybe your friends will. I was at my lawyer's office today, and I had a girl. She came out. She's like, I'm a follower. I'm like, I love it. I love hearing that you guys follow my channel. I'm like, I'm so sorry for everything I subject you guys to. But that's my final thoughts on the Triochrome, at least for using it just now. I'll keep you guys posted as I do, like, rankings videos, because we got a ton of videos coming up, guys. Stay tuned. BRITCHES is coming. So many things are coming. If you guys do decide to shop, I know the Sephora VIB sale is going on. I do have everything in the description box. You can use the links down below and you can still shop. Even if you're not shopping Natasha Denona, not this palette, it'll still like track your order. So if you want to support my channel that way, you can use the affiliate links down below. So other than that, now I want to see you put those palettes together like purples and burgundies. If you guys want to see it, maybe that could be a future video. We shall see. But other than that, I hope you guys did enjoy it. And I will see you guys tomorrow for probably a haul. And then stay tuned. Dyson video is coming. Bye!